children after a new report shows an alarming rise in hospitalization rates. Now, anyone over the age of 12 is eligible to receive the COVID-19 vaccine, and this comes as we are now learning more about the various and often overlooked economic factors in people's lives that are contributing to vaccine hesitancy, and that's a problem. So joining us now to help us understand these issues a little bit better and more deeper that are contributing to vaccine hesitancy and how we can best address the problem is Dr. Rob Davidson, and he joins me from Michigan. Sir, it's good of you to join us today. Tell me, really, you are on the front lines working in an emergency room where you see COVID-19 patients, and you also have the vaccinations that are available and being offered. So could you describe briefly for us the various types of vaccine hesitancy problems you encounter from people there in Michigan?
Yeah, in the last week and a half or so, we've been made available the Pfizer vaccine and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine from the emergency department. So in addition to having these conversations for the past several months, now it's real. People who aren't vaccinated, I'm offering them the vaccine. And what I'm hearing are three distinct groups of people. You know, we certainly have people who absolutely are against it. They're consuming their media in an environment where they're getting disinformation and believe that there's, you know, either political forces or institutional forces that they just don't want to be a part of and they don't want to be vaccinated. I still try. It's a significant number of my patients, but this is a tough group. There's another group who wants to get vaccinated, and frankly, there are barriers in their way still. Even though everyone should be able to get a shot and there's access and it is free to anyone who wants a shot, a lot of my patients are expressing concerns that if they get it and the next day they're having side effects, you know, body aches, fevers, headaches, that they might need to miss work. I think I've seen recent polling, a quarter of people in this country don't have paid sick leave. I believe half of people in the same poll said that getting sick or getting side effects after the shot, even minor ones that just preclude you from going in, you know, will make it tough to get the shot because they don't want to miss work. They don't want to miss that paycheck. And I see that. I have people talking to me about that. I wish that, you know, lawmakers and employers would get together, and if they're serious about getting everyone vaccinated, that they would take that off the table and make it so that everyone would have pay time off if they needed it after getting vaccinated. And then, you know, the last group are people who generally just have, go ahead.
So what I'm hearing from you then is well, two things. One is the political front, which we know that in Michigan there was a large contingency of Republicans and white Republicans and some black conservatives as well who absolutely refused to get any vaccine or even to wear masks. But now you're talking also about the essential workers. And I would suspect that a lot of the essential workers are people of color, and they can't find the time to get off their jobs in order to get vaccinated because, like you said, they're afraid of course, there's any kind of reaction they might have that would cause them to miss work. They can't afford to do that. So from that standpoint, it comes down for them to economics. Talk to me about the economic factors and how that weighs heavily on the minds who are of a lot of black Americans who are still vaccine hesitant.
Yeah, I think people who are hourly workers, many folks working multiple jobs just to make ends meet. You know, if you miss one day of work and you don't get paid for it, that's a significant hit for your weekly or monthly budget. So again, I think we need to call on lawmakers, call on employers who are, you know, they're making the vaccines available, they're making the pitch to people, they're trying to convince people. We need to remove that barrier because it's really unfortunate that, you know, unfortunately this country gets divided in many different ways. But this is yet one other way that just kind of average, hardworking, primarily hourly workers doing well over 40 hours a week are being harmed. You know, even if they want the vaccine, they want to protect themselves and their families. They're telling me and they're telling a lot of my colleagues that is standing in their way.
Well, Dr. Rob Davidson, you are certainly not getting in their way. You're certainly there to help them, and it's really remarkable that your ER facility is offering a lot of vaccinations if people will receive it and accept them. I want to thank you for bringing your perspective on to enlighten us about what's happening there in the ER there in Michigan, and I appreciate you joining us. Please join us again to keep us up to date on getting these vaccinations done. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
After the break, real dollars coming to Tulsa survivors and the limits of bipartisanship. Our political panel joins us next.